Of course, Rafai must have been seizing upon all the wild conspiracy theories that were also afloat in the Middle East at the time. However, even with what Rafai may have known or not, doesn't absolve any of the Mossad apparatus that's been uncovered on the Jersey side at the bare minimal. Particularly when there's also the case of the 5 Middle Eastern suspects linked to Denko Mechanical and Magic Heating and Air, having prior and unauthorized access to the Twin Towers just days before September 11th, and were arrested months later in Tennessee on a sting for fraudulent IDs, which was subsequent to the FBI's 9/11 dragnet. That case in Tennessee should make one reconsider the Port Authority more as suspect or needed inquiry, rather than just leaseholders of the World Trade Center complex, which is not necessary for implication in 9/11, as most are compelled to imply Larry Silverstein in their conspiracy conclusion, which in retrospect, Silverstein didn't own the World Trade Center in 1993 and neither in 1999, just before the Millennium Plot. But the bottom line here is that it would be gross negligence to ignore Peter Lance's story on Ronnie Bucca, regardless if his total conclusion blames the Al-Qaeda network, because his pursuit to connect both 1993 World Trade Center bombing to 9/11 through Ramzi Youssef and the Bojinka plot is certainly one angle that this presentation has relied on. And similarly, like with the International Herald Tribune questioning the role of Josie Hadass, FBI spokesman Joe Valquit had put down Lance's story of Rafai infiltrating the New York Fire Department after his first book, 1,000 Years of Revenge, was released, saying that it's rehash of old stories, gossip, and speculation. And if you think the Anthrax letters right after the 9/11 attacks is simply your instant inside job proof of no foreign involvement, you might want to reconsider when it's a fact that it was also reported that anthrax was missing from the same U.S. Army Medical Research Institute laboratory in Fort Detrick, Maryland, right around the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. And not only was there controversy going on there 2 years before in 1991, where Dr. Ayad Assad, an Egyptian, had filed a formal complaint against co-workers Drs. Philip Zach and Marion Rippey for racial harassment, in which subsequently led them leaving U.S. AMRID in 1992. Assad stayed on until March of 1997, where then budget cuts led Assad to being laid off, for which he then sued the U.S. Army for age and ethnic discrimination. After 9/11 in October of 2001, the FBI called Assad in for questioning. It was also revealed that the FBI had received an anonymous letter, postmarked September 21, 2001, in which an alleged co-worker warned that Assad might be planning a biological attack. The letter was unsigned and computer-typed. It stated, in part, that Dr. Assad is a potential biological terrorist. I have worked with Dr. Assad and I heard him say that he has a vendetta against the U.S. government. Although in his defense it was concluded that the letter was written by a female in which Marion Rippey was suspected to have written it, the FBI cleared Assad of these allegations and determined they were unfounded. But when it came to implicating Bruce Ivins for the anthrax attacks years later, Assad also said in an interview to the Washington Post in 2008 that not only did he know Ivins, but made the accusation that Bruce Ivins was a victim of a vicious plot.